Welcome to the Leadership and Love podcast. We will cover leadership, mindset, personal development, and sales and marketing. You will experience thought-provoking conversations with both nationally and internationally recognized leaders. Our goal is to inspire you and deliver actionable items that you can implement that are going to help you accelerate your growth. Get ready to discover the magic and the power when you lead with love. Welcome to this episode of Leadership and Love. One of the things I'm going to do is once a month, I'm going to do episodes that are just going to be me sharing wisdom, knowledge, experience, stories that I've learned over time to help you on your journey to be a better leader, both leading yourself and your team, organization, and companies. So this morning, I want to start with what I think is really the most important to help you really get headed in a direction. I want to share a little bit of a story. For those of you that have been in the personal development world, you've probably heard the old adage, if you want to go on vacation and you go to the travel agent, what's the first thing the travel agent's going to ask you? Where do you want to go? Well, I want to help you with that today and get clarity on that. And what we're going to share and talk about is both applicable to your business and your personal life. And I'm going to go back and forth in between them so you can see how they interact and are connected and related. So I want you to understand that in that little analogy of going on vacation and going to the travel agent, you really are on both ends of that story, which is kind of my own unique twist on that. You are both the person wanting to go on vacation and you are the travel agent. You are the person that's responsible for making it happen and putting things into place. You're also the person who's responsible for reaching out to other people to help you get to where you want to go. So you are the travel agent and you are the one who wants to go on vacation. You're wearing both those hats. Lots of people like to pass that responsibility on to somebody else, but ultimately for you to get where you want to go, vacation, you're responsible for making it happen. So the first thing I want to talk about is core values. Core values are really something that you want to sit and spend some time with. Now, this is going to be an episode that I highly recommend you listen to a couple times through over the week, because it's going to be critical that you do each step individually and they will come together. But the first thing you want to figure out is what your core values are. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here talking about all the core values because really it's almost unlimited. But what you want to figure out is, what are your core values? What are the things that mean the most to you? And there's lists you can find out there on the internet. So again, they're easy to get a hold of, but really start to feel into that. What's important to you? Integrity, caring, kindness, patience, understanding, service to others, learning, personal development or growth. One of the things that I highly recommend that you put on your core values, both for you and for your organization, your company, and your teams, is personal responsibility. There's a great book by Jack Canfield called The Success Principles. The very first success principle, the first chapter in the book, is take personal responsibility for everything, 100% responsibility. So whatever's not working in your life, again, you're the person responsible for making that happen. So what you want to do is add personal responsibility as one of your core values. Now, here's another thing I'd like you to keep in mind. It's going to be really easy. It's going to be like a Christmas list, right? You're going to look at all these core values and say, yeah, this. You don't want 10, 15, 20 core values. You can have that many, but it's hard to hold your focus. So I would suggest you pick 4, 5, maybe 6 core values for both you and your company. And that's who you are going to be. For me, one of my core values is fun. I love to have fun. I love jokes. I love to make jokes. I love to tell jokes. I love to crack jokes. So fun is definitely a core value for me. And again, but so is personal responsibility. So make sure both for you personally and your organization, personal responsibility shows up as one of your core values. Your core values for you personally may be some of the same core values of the organization, especially if you're the leader of that organization. But you really want to get your core values from the organization itself. You want to have some team meetings. You want to spend some time working on core values and decide how do we want to be? And I believe that's what your core values are. Who and how are you being? Are you being love? Are you being understanding? Are you being patience? Are you being kindness? Are you being of service? Who are you wanting to be? That's really what your core values are an indication of, and what you're busy, who you're busy being, and how you're doing that. The next thing I want to talk about is your mission statement. Again, you want to have a personal mission statement, and you want to have an organizational mission statement. Now, your mission statement is how you're going to be busy being those things in the world, either in the world as the individual that you are, or in the world as your organization. Your mission statement should be short and concise and right to the point. And what you want to do is make sure that your mission statement is, again, who you're being on a daily basis. So your core values are you deciding what you and who you want to be. And again, that's a heart thing, right? This is not a head thing. What makes you happy? What makes you, when you're living integrity, are you happy? Are you living, when you're honest or serving, are you being happy? Same thing with your mission statement. Your mission statement is how are you doing or going to be doing on a regular basis the things that you do. As an example, I'll give you the one for one of my businesses, the body shop. We help people who've been in an accident get through the process as quickly and easily as possible with kindness, service, patience, and love. That's our mission statement. That's how we do what we do every day. And at that point, everybody in the company can repeat that and knows that. And that's what we're doing on a regular basis every time we interact with anybody, with our vendors, with our clients, with insurance companies, whatever that may be. So your mission statement is really who are you being in your day-to-day life. Now, the same thing would be true of your personal life. In your personal life, who are you being throughout the day? I am helping, healing, and serving the world with kindness, love, patience, and humor. And that's who I show up to be every day. And again, if you've noticed, I just dropped it without having to think about it. So think, and you can write your mission statement, and keep in mind it's not going to be carved in stone, and it may change over time. It may change as you morph out of your career into starting your own business, or it may morph as you leave school and go into a career, or as you get married, or as you retire and start doing other things with your life. So your mission statement is never carved in stone. Now, the next thing is your vision. So if you're the leader of an organization, you own the company, or you're a manager, then it's your responsibility to have a vision of where is the company going? Where do you want to take the team? Do you want to be the best? Do you want to be the fastest? Do you want to be the most profitable? Do you want to be the most productive? Where do you want to be for your organization? And for your life, it would be, where do you want to go? Where are you headed? Remember the vacation analogy? Where do you want to be heading with your life? And the vision is just a picture. You want to get a picture of, what does it look like? What does it look like to be the best? What does it look like to be the most profitable, the most efficient, the most productive? What do those things look like? What does it look like personally to be the healthiest, to be the wealthiest, to be the happiest, to be in the best relationships? Get a picture of that. That's the vision of where you're heading. Now, like I said, this is really something that you're going to want to revisit on a regular basis, actually. But for the next week, I'd like you to listen to this and go through the process and do the work and sit with this, and then ask other people. Again, if you're in an organization, you want to meet with the team and say, hey, what are our core values? What's our mission? How do we want to be doing what we're doing every day? And what's our vision? Where do we want Sharp Auto Body to go? It's very, very powerful work. Very powerful work, and it's very important. And then after you do this work, I want to share something that's amazingly magical. And that is, all your decision making, whether it's your personal life or your business, or in your career, business, wherever you're living in that. And you can see how they're connected because who you're being, you want to be everywhere. This is really important for a couple of reasons, but one of them is if you know your core values and your mission, if you want to be, and a vision for your life, it's going to be really easy to decide whether you're working for a company or in a company that's in alignment with who you are. If you are a hiring person, a manager, or the owner of a company, it's really easy to hire because when you start talking to people, you're going to ask them. And you can't ask them necessarily their core values, but you can ask them, hey, can you give me an example of where in a prior job or prior situation you were tempted to do something and you did the right thing, not the wrong thing? Can you show me or tell me a story or an example of something where in the past you had to create or accomplish a task without any supervision? That would be initiative. That would be problem solving. So the things that you're looking for, you can now start interviewing in your interview process. It's going to really reduce your turnover because as an organization, you're going to know exactly who you're looking for that's going to be in alignment. And this is, again, why it's important to spend the time on this. It's going to be important to hire people who are in alignment with all three, your core values, your mission statement, and your vision for the company. As you do reviews with people that are currently in the company, this also may be something that you do in the review process and review the core values, the mission statement, and the vision statement, and make sure that everybody's still on the same page, rowing in the same direction towards that thing called a vacation. Now, the other thing that's really powerful about having these things done personally and professionally in your job or your career is that every time, and I mean literally every time you have a decision to make, you want to ask yourself, is it in alignment? Is it in alignment with who I want to be, AKA your core values? Is it in alignment with who I want to be and busy being in the course of the day? And the third thing is, who is or what is this decision in direct relationship to my vision? Every action, every choice, every decision you make is either doing one of two things. It's getting you closer to where you want to go, or it's getting you further away. I'll use two examples, one personal and one professional. So on the personal side, if you're busy wanting to be healthy, that's your mission, and that could be a core value is health and wellness. If that's your core value and you want to be busy doing that, and yet you're going out drinking on the weekends, then the decision to drink or eat a lot of bad food, processed food, fatty food, fast food, that's not in alignment with who you want to be. Now, let's go to the business side of this thing. If your business, your core values are to be profitable and to be have money in reserves and have your own line of credit built up and do those kinds of things, then one of the things that you can do is realize that if you don't have a PO, purchase order process in place, if you don't have control of the spending and watching who's spending what where, then you're not letting those things happen. And letting them happen is a choice. It's a decision not to do something about it. Then you're not in alignment with where you want the company to be the most profitable. Now, one of the things I help clients with, and this is both personally and professionally, is a thing called the passion test. The passion test gets you really, really clear, really quickly on what you're passionate about. Again, what makes your heart go pitter patter. So what I'd like you to do is feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to me at Louie, Louie, at The Gifted Leader, all spelled out, thegiftedleader.com, because anybody that's listening to this podcast, if you send me an email, I'll get you on my calendar and we'll set up a 30-minute call to work on the passion tests. It takes about 30 minutes, but at that point, you're going to go away with the things that are important to you. That's going to help you with your core values. That's going to help you with your mission statement, and that's going to help you with your vision statement. And by the way, that same thing works and applies. One of the things I do when I do business consulting, one of the first things I do is we work on the owner, the manager, the leader of a team to get them clear on what's important to them and who they want to be busy being and how they want to do that on a daily basis and where they're headed. Because this is the core to making everything in your life actually easier. Because when you ask yourself, every time you have a decision, is this decision going to head me where I want to go? Or is it going to head me in the other direction? Or is it going to just keep me stuck? And the answer to all that is going to be how you make that decision. And it's going to actually be a no-brainer. So again, I'm offering a free passion test consultation. This is really work that's valuable and worth the time and the effort to do it. And again, keep in mind, it's not carved in stone. It's going to morph and change as you start to become aware of these things and work on them and realize who you're being or not being on a regular basis. So thanks for your time. I know it's valuable. My intention is to add value of things that you can take action on today. So today, my suggestion would be go get a list of core values. Think about when you read through them, what makes your heart go pitter patter. And some of them might be something that you'd like to be doing. Some of them are something you're already doing now. And again, don't get carried away, because it's like a kid at Christmas with a catalog. You could have, 10, 15, 20 core values. Hard to keep track of that, hard to manage it. So you want to keep it between 4 to 6. So thanks. I hope you have a great day. Remember, nothing works until you do. One of my favorite quotes is by Jim Rohn. You can't hire other people to do your push-ups for you. This is a great example of you can't hire somebody else to do this work. You have to put in the time. Your team has to put in the time. But trust me when I tell you, it's going to be well worth the effort in the long run. Thanks again for joining us and listening to this episode of Leadership and Love. I would like to challenge you to ask yourself, what's one thing that you heard today that you can implement immediately to improve your leadership and accelerate your growth? If you've gotten value out of this episode or learned something that you can implement today, we'd ask that you please share it with those that you care about. Our goal is to create more leaders who are leading with love.